Hello and welcome to today's episode of Creating Optimal Health After 40. Listen, I'm your host, Dr. Mike Cockrell, and I want to thank you so much for joining me here for this episode. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about something that's actually fairly relevant to what we're all dealing with today, and that is the idea of finding joy in hard times. You see, as sure as the sun rises and sets each day, each and every one of us are going to have periods in our life when things are just not going our way. In reality, life is basically a constant fluctuation of emotional ups and downs, highs and lows. We all get to experience that. No one is immune. While most of our time, though, we are actually in a fairly even, mundane state of emotional normalcy. This normalcy is often broken up by peaks of the best of times, and unfortunately, the valleys when nothing is going right. While hardly anyone ever actually seeks information on how to deal with the best moments of their life, handling the lows can actually be a very difficult task and can be a very difficult task. And so today, we're living in a very troubled time because this pandemic has taken over most of the world, and people are being affected in some very profound and very real ways. Everything that surrounds getting through this pandemic is based on suffering and pain. It's just the nature of the beast. Death, isolation, fear, facing the unknown, grief and loss, all of these things can strip us of our joy and can lead to depression. So while you can't control what happens outside your door, I'm here to tell you today that you can do some things to help control yourself. And there are things that you can do that help maintain a positive and joyful mindset. So in this discussion, what we're going to do is walk through, I'm going to do about 3 tips for how you actually help maintain joy and how you maintain a positive mindset from day to day, even in a disturbing world. So first suggestion, number 1, surround yourself with the right people. Now, it's often said that we're the sum total of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with most often. If that's the case, making sure you get the right people around you, especially when you're going through a difficult period in your life, is critical to being able to hold on to your joy. Oftentimes when life is really beating us up, we retreat into the solitude of our home, wanting to just throw the covers over our heads and be left alone with our thoughts. And make no mistake, sometimes periods of solitude are healthy and necessary. Right now, isolation is the norm as we fight a major health crisis all over the globe. However, when you find yourself in a really low spot, when you're robbed of your joy, connecting with those people that make you happy is actually mandatory. However, how you can do it. So although it may seem obvious in concept, avoiding people who have the opposite effect can sometimes be the real battle. Negative individuals are especially important to keep out of your life when you're already struggling to find joy in your current situation. You can stay connected during shelter-in-place orders when you are isolating at home to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and technology has really been able to help us do some of that. So here's a few ideas. 1, it's easy to FaceTime if you have an iPhone. Do video calls on an Android phone. There's Skype, just picking up the phone and having a simple phone conversation, sending someone an email, a text message, using Zoom or some of the other video conferencing software can help bring together family and friends while staying safe and following health officials' orders. And then just good old-fashioned letter writing may come in handy. Remember this, nothing is permanent, and this too shall pass. Okay? Nothing in life is permanent, and fortunately, nothing in life is going to be here so long that we can't usually get through it. So this situation that we're in right now will eventually come to a closure, and we will be able to resume life at least more normal than we are right now. But during periods of extreme happiness and joy, thinking about that temporary nature of each season in life is not something that we like to dwell on. On the contrary, keeping this truth in mind during the low times can actually be very beneficial. Whatever you're going through, no matter how bad it may be, assume that it is going to pass. In fact, most of the difficult times you experience in life will end without any extra effort on your part. It's so easy to get into the mentality that we have to put forth an immense amount of effort to make something bad go away, and that's not always true. Even though it sometimes is the case, most of the time is the only remedy that we have for tough situations. If you want to maximize your joy during difficult times, remember that your situation is not the way things are, only the way they are right now. Next, base your happiness on yourself. Since we have discussed how life is divided into highs and lows and the fact that nothing will last forever, this leads to another thing to keep in mind during the best and the worst periods of your life. If you want to have joy on a consistent basis, your joy absolutely cannot be dictated by your circumstances. If you let every good thing that happens to you leave you soaring on cloud nine and every negative situation sends you crashing to earth, you're going to go through life in a state of emotional exhaustion. Stable, consistent, sustainable joy can only be created and found within yourself. Life is far less about what happens to you than it is how you actually react to it. Remember that you are in charge of how you feel. Don't fall into the routine of letting happiness get to your head and failure go to your heart. Okay, there you go. There's some ideas about what we can do to try to find joy during these hard times. Now, finally, of course, I have to give this medical disclaimer that the information that I share with you is for educational purposes only. If you're having some issues with depression in your life, I advise you to seek professional help. Your medical professional, your doctor, your healthcare provider, they can help you in this respect, and I encourage you to do that. I hope this information has been beneficial. I would also encourage you, if you're not already a member of our private Facebook group, you can access that at facebook.com/groups/COHA40. And also be sure to check out all the information on our website, livingwellwithmikeandlisa.com. I'm in the process of updating a couple of things on there right now. I'm adding a COVID-19 tracking site that gives updates and news and information on there, so we'll have easy access to that information for those of you who are tracking and following and trying to figure out what's going on around the world. I'm also in the process of creating an abundance mindset training program that I hope to have up out there hopefully within the next week. So I encourage you to take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, realize that the things we're going through right now will pass, they will change, they will get better. This situation is temporary, and keep your head up, keep your chin up, and look for the things in your life that you can be grateful for each and every day. All right, until next time, this is Dr. Mike Cockrell. Have a great day.